Hey, this is Chris Sloan, and today I want to talk a little bit about how much you should spend on marketing. So, my callers, when talking to people, will often get asked, well, how much do you think we should be spending? And there's a lot of conflicting information out there. And so, based on our experience with clients and what we've been able to pull together, what we've seen across multiple niches, I'm going to give you some guidelines that I think are pretty solid. Now, if you look at the Small Business Administration, they're one of the first results that pops up, and they'll say you want to spend about 2 to 3% of your revenue, and that's just not enough. I mean, I don't know where they come up with those numbers, but I've never, maybe for like big companies, but certainly not small businesses. You can't. It's not enough, and I'm sure if you look at your own growth in the past, if you've been marketing, you spent more than that. Now, many people will tell us, well, we've grown through referral and we've grown through networking and repeat business, and that's all great. And that's wonderful. And I don't want to discount that at all. It's very important to nurture and protect that business. However, as we go along further now, where Google has really replaced the yellow pages as the place where people look for business, and it's so easy to shop now, even your existing customers are going to shop you. I mean, for big projects, then they might like working with you, but if you cost 30% more and can't justify it, you might lose. And so you don't want to just sit back and count on repeat business always being there. You never know what happens, especially heading into a challenging economic environment, which it has been, and it seems like it will continue. You really have to be aggressive in your marketing to make sure that you can hit your revenue targets. There's just no way around it. And so I've looked at other studies, and these tend to agree more with what we see with our own customers and in my own experience growing my businesses. So the rule of thumb that we tell people and that we think is the most accurate is the bare minimum that you should be spending on your marketing is 5% of your gross annual revenue, bare minimum. And if you want to be pursuing growth and trying to increase 10%, 20% year over year, you really need to be spending closer to 10% of your gross annual revenue. So what does that look like? So say that your small business, you're doing about 250,000 in annual revenue every year. That means at 5%, you're going to want to budget $12,500 for your marketing minimum. If you want to try to grow, you're going to want to budget $25,000, 10%. So 12,500 is about $1,000 a month. Okay, 10% or 25,000 is about $2,000 a month. So if you're at about $250,000 a year annual revenue, you want to budget somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 per month. Closer to $1,000 if you're just trying to maintain your revenue. Closer to $2,000 if you want to push your growth. Okay, and those numbers are double if your revenue is $500,000. So if you're $500,000, you're going to budget $25,000 annual on the low end, $50,000 annual on the high end. That's $2,000 to $4,000 a month. And if you're at $1 million in revenue, of course, it doubles again. And so at $1 million, you're going to budget about $50,000 annually for marketing to maintain, and about $100,000 annually if you want to grow aggressively. And so that's somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000 per month. And it scales up from there. I mean, you can do the math. But the idea is when you consider all the marketing you're doing, and this includes salespeople, I mean, everybody's books are different, how your accountant tells you to account for things. But this marketing spend includes if you're doing postcards, if you're doing giveaways or whatever it is that you do to market, if you're placing newspaper ads, if you're placing radio ads, all that stuff goes into that bucket. Okay. So if you're 500,000 annual revenue and you want to grow, you want to budget $4,000 a month between what you pay your agency, like us, what you're spending on things like Google ads, if you're running newspaper ads, doing like the value packs, like whatever you do. Figure out that number and spend it, and then track its effectiveness. How much are you getting back? How many leads are you getting? Are they good leads? Are they closing? And don't neglect your installed base, your repeat customers. Those are important too. Those are the easiest ones to market to. because it really doesn't cost you much more to acquire them. So factor in running a monthly newsletter or whatever. But the short, the short version of it is 5 to 10% of your top line revenue you must earmark for marketing, or you endanger your company. And we've seen that ourselves. My companies didn't grow that quickly until I started aggressively spending to grow them. And so we have multiple marketing channels. This is one of them. You're watching a video that I'm producing because I want you to get to know us and how we think, right? And this doesn't cost me anything but time, and my team puts it out there, and that's awesome. We know we do a lot of email. You've probably been getting my emails. We run ads. We have callers. I mean, we do a ton of stuff, and we invest heavily to grow because that's what it takes, and that's what we recommend you do too. And those are the services we provide for our customers. And so I hope that's helpful. Don't listen to Small Business Administration. At 2 to 3% is crazy. It's not going to work. Think about where you're at. Think about where you spend your money, and earmark that 5 to 10% to invest in growth. And then make sure you're investing it wisely with people who are helping you get a return on your investment. So I hope that helps. And always let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help.